Good afternoon, young folks. I hope you do not mind being addressed via this medium by someone who is old enough probably to be a grandfather. But as a grandfather of kids who probably some of them are your age, it is very exciting to know that you have come from all corners of the world. By the way, how could the world have corners if it's round? So basically from all parts of the world to join us here in Canada's capital, Ottawa, which has been my home for probably about 50 years, to figure out ways of making the world a little bit better. You have chosen to come to Kind Canada Généreux, which is an interesting organization. I was a little bit involved in founding it. We go back to about 10 years ago when we had something called Kindness Week in Ottawa. And it took off in a way that we didn't even anticipate. We did all sorts of crazy things, like in Ottawa in February, which is when we did it, we would have hot coffee in the middle of downtown Ottawa. You couldn't do this, for example, by the Champs-Élysées, but in Ottawa you can do it. We also did things like we had the police buy into the idea of Kindness Week, and we gave them citations, which looked like tickets, and they would find somebody on the street doing kind things, and they would say, "Here's a ticket." And they say, "What did I do, officer? I didn't do anything wrong." "Yeah, I know, you did something right. Here's a kindness card, citation for you." So we drove people a little bit crazy doing these things, but the message got across. Most importantly, it got across to some of the schools here in Ottawa, which we've had a great buy-in from the schools. So in Kindness Week, we go out to them, they have kindness assemblies, we give citations on that week to all sorts of people, such as the principals of the school, the people who greet you when you come in, even the people who sweep the floors, who are the neglected ones. And the message really basically is that if you show gratitude and you're kind to people who are kind to you, you basically uplift the entire atmosphere, and everybody's all the happier because of it. Then, a little less than 2 years ago, and you're going to find people here from Kind Canada Généreux, including our CEO Nancy Oakley and our Vice President in charge of development, Jeff Turner, who basically are the staff of Kind Canada Généreux. What are we all about? We do small little things here and there, but that's not what explains who we are. We really want to do a game-changing culture in Canada. It's not that Canadians are not kind, they're actually in the top 5 kindest countries. But what we want to do is really escalate it so that kindness becomes the purpose that drives us. Kindness becomes the motif for our life. What better way of really reaching all Canadians on this than by getting in what you would call on the ground floor, which is to say, the schools. So one of our major endeavors in the course of the next year or 2 or 3 or 4 is to develop a kindness curriculum, to have that embraced and adopted in every single school in Canada, English, French, First Nations, so that no one goes through a school system without being inculcated in the importance of being kind to others. And it's a no-brainer, because when you are kind, you get more things done. You will find that, for example, if you go somewhere you demand, say, "I want to be looked after now," you're not going to get as much of a buy-in and cooperation as if you do things in a kind way. Small little gestures, by the way, which we think are not important, become immensely important. Just holding a door to an elevator or to a building so that somebody can come in directly. You know what it says to them? I matter, and somebody cares about me, to take a second more out of their life to be kind. Do you know what a thrill you could get instead of dealing with road rage? It's basically to say, go out of your house a little bit earlier, so that if somebody wants to get in ahead of you, just say, "Be my guest." And what happens, instead of you being angry at them and they being angry at you, they are very appreciative, changes the atmosphere. You may not speak to them, but they're driving ahead knowing that the guy behind them or the gal behind them has been very kind. So all of this, to generate an atmosphere like this in Canada, is what we're all about. Now, I want to end by telling you something very simple. The word kind in our language means to be generous, to be sensitive, to be empathetic, but there's another word that's associated with it. In German, a kind, if you don't pronounce it kind, but you pronounce it a kind is a child. And you may think that that's the German language, or that have to do with Canadian or English or whatever. Think about, what do you call the first level of school? It's called kindergarten. Now, kindergarten in German means a garden for children. What we'd like to do is to have in Canada a massive kindergarten, where it's a garden of kindness in which everybody is not either too young or too old to be part of it. This is our endeavor. We're delighted to share this vision with you. You can take it with you and grow it in whatever country you're going to. We wish you Godspeed. Wherever you go, your endeavors should be blessed. We're delighted you're here with us. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, because you have a lot of great presentations. And thank you for leading the way into the next millennium. Congratulations.